Hey everybody, this is Robert Price. Hope all is well with you guys. Okay, hope you guys are staying safe. So today I just want to talk about just some funky aspects, right? Or adding that funk in your playing. Okay. Now with me being a church musician or a gospel musician, we play pretty much all type of styles. You know, these songs can range from a pop type of thing to Latin or jazz, things like that. But when it comes to funk, at least for me, a lot of times I'm thinking blues and I'm thinking jazz type of things like bebop and all that, all at the same time. I'm actually going to show you some examples. Okay, now if we take or if we look at, let's say like the 12-bar blues, right? How you go from the 1, right? If we're in the key of E flat, then you go to the 4, then the 5, right? Just something like that. That's, like a blues thing. But let's say you were doing something like this. Right? That right there, I'm already thinking about maybe the blues scale in E flat, right? So you're going to hear something like okay. But the thing is, though, when you think about that, this is something that you do when you're churching anyway, right? You're going to hit this blues scale. Okay, that's just a little. Now, of course, you may do it a little bit different because you're thinking more about, the funk aspect, right? So one thing that you can do, it's like pretty much these two chords that I go back and forth. And you can do this over the 1 and the 4. Because I'm also going to do something like this. Everybody knows about that. If you're pretty much intermediate to advanced or even beginner, you at least heard that. Right? So, we can do little stuff like, just stuff, right? So I'm just going to talk a little bit about that. So for the most part, at least when you're trying to get that blue, these chords right here, all that stuff is you're just going back and forth between two chords, okay? Now right here, for the most part, as you can see, I'm really just doing like a F sharp major chord and a A flat major chord. Now, being a little bit, if we go a little bit more technical, a lot of times you're playing like a E flat minor. If you're in the key of E flat, you can just think about E flat minor and F minor, right? See that? But when it comes to position and stuff like that, a lot of times I'm not doing this, right? You can do that. Sometimes I end up just doing this. Okay? So either way, that's something that you can add to, that aspect. So if you're on the 1, all right, and I know you guys have heard this. So that's all I'm doing, okay? So this is just a free for all. I just want to let you know I don't have like an outline for this video. I'm just literally going to give you guys some ideas of what I'll do, and I'm no expert at this, so hopefully it just helps somebody that's trying to get to, the next level of ideas, all right? So that F sharp and C. Now we do that when you're churching, right? But of course you're going to do it, you're going to put it just differently. You're going to play it different. A little bit actually. So okay. Now when you're going to the 4, everybody does this right here. All right. And for me, the way I look at that is just, if I'm on the 4, which is that A flat, I just go down 3 half steps, or to that, that minor, right? So if you're not really that technical or don't really know too much about like theory and stuff like that, if you're on the A flat or whatever, let's say you're on your dominant chord, you can literally go down 3 half steps, 1, 2, 3, find that minor chord, and do like this little movement, right? So, okay, that right there is like a really popular dominant movement type thing when you're on your dominant, okay? So, okay, now I did like a walk up a little bit earlier. I think I was doing. All right. Now, of course, the timing, definitely got to work on that. But so when you're playing like on your dominant chords, now I'm still thinking about the funky aspect, right? You want to think about, let's say like a bebop, you know, the bebop scale, okay? So in this case, since I'm on a A flat, I'm actually thinking about a A flat dominant scale, like a bebop. So that is pretty much you're adding in the flat 7 and the natural 7. So you keep the natural 7. So okay, so you have this. Now, if you've been following my videos, you know I love to do this. If I'm on a dominant chord, you're gonna hear something like in my run. I love to go to that yeah, I love that sound. Okay, so and I actually have a series on that, or at least pretty much like a 3 video series on the website that I'm using. Okay, so that's pretty much in the description. You can just click that and purchase that course. That'll kind of help you with just coming up with different runs. All right, so with this right here, right, all right, and I'm just literally mixing all those, okay, on the 4, right? So adding that funky aspect, you can still, okay? So you may not actually be doing a 12-bar blues type thing, but I'm saying at least when you're on dominant chords, you can think about, okay, wait a minute, what can I do on this? You have options, okay? Now, a lot of times we do the blues scale, like I said, but there's another scale that you can also use, okay? In a lot of times, let's say you go to the 4, back to the 1. Okay, on the 1, like I said, I was doing this. Okay, but you can also just play you can play that, you know, just this right here. Think about that dominant. Or what if by doing something like this? Let me see. You can do like. All right, so I did. So I think what I do is when I get back to the 1, a lot of times you can think of your 1 as being a 4. Now, this may be confusing to some, but this is how I think about it, okay? In the key of B flat, right? That's actually a relative key, or it's a strong pull with E flat. E flat and B flat are closely related, okay? In the key of B flat, these are your church chords, right? So let's say we're in the key of B flat. Watch this. Right? You see what the chords I'm using right now? All those minor chords, right? Watch this. Let's go back to E flat. So, all right, let's go to the 4. Well, wow. I didn't even think about that. So, that's literally me putting that flat 3 in there, okay? Although I'm in the key of E flat, when I land on a certain chord, right, I think about everything that is associated with that particular chord or mode, or however you want to look at it, right? So I could still do like a lot of blues, or I can still do a lot of, you know, bluesy runs or something like that, or those little gospel church runs on that 4. Or I can actually think, you know, maybe a step further, right? You know, I know you've heard this. If you play in church, you know this, right? Or if you're in E flat, right? Well, since I'm on that 4, So you could do that. That's another thing you can do. You know, and then of course, right? Okay, so I'm just kind of skimming over it. I'm not necessarily breaking down a lot of stuff, but I just at least want to give you guys some ideas. Okay. All right. Okay. So that's another thing. Now on the 5, a lot of times, of course, what we do on the 5, guys. Right. Now, there's a scale that you can actually use if you want to solo just a little bit, or at least get some chord ideas, which I've talked about it before, but it's like a melodic minor scale. Okay, so if you're here, the way I look at it is, if you're using, like, let's say a sharp 9, sharp 5 chord, and your bass note is that B flat, go up a half step. So I'll go to B and do that melodic minor. That is what where you're getting this right here. So watch this. Okay, so that scale, what I did was I just I'm on B flat. I know what chord I'm using. So I say, you know what? Oh, in this case, I can go up a half step and do that melodic minor scale. And look, that chord, look at that. Those notes it's in that chord. So if I want to do, you know, right? So you can connect it. Of course, you got to work on connecting it. So a lot of times, I think I've done this before. So, right? Let me see if I can remember that run. Let me see. And then back to the 1. You know, right? I need to give you that scale too. But then you're on the 5, the same thing, look. Right? And then, right? On the 4, then the 1. Then we do this. This right here, you can do something like, let me see, I did this earlier. Right? You can do something like that. So what I did was, of course, it's coming time for me to get to that 1. So I have to start thinking, okay, you know, I know I'm using this scale, but let me get back to that 1. So a lot of times what you can do is you can end your run with a, okay, that flat 3 to the 3. That's a nice thing. So, you see? Okay. So that's pretty cool. So what I did, let me slow it down. Okay. So like I said, you want to work on timing. Okay. This is probably just like a rush video, but a lot of times when I get ideas, sometimes I do want to just put it out there, because if I think too hard, sometimes you can overthink stuff and just miss the whole point. Right. So, you could go to that if you run out of time, but you know, take away, you know, from this video, add to it, you know, do whatever you need to do. Okay, I just want to at least give you the idea. Now with this right here, when you get back to the 1, like I said, I'm thinking about it like a 4, right? So since I'm thinking of the 1 as a 4, and when I say a 4, like a 4 dominant, right? I'm thinking like I'm in the key of B flat, at least just for a little bit. Okay? And so a concept that you can take is that on your 1, especially when you're grooving like this, and you're playing all those type of chords, you can think, okay, what is the 5 of whatever key I'm in, right? Because you're not always going to be doing some type of, you know, groove like this in E flat. You want to take it to other keys, right? So if I'm thinking of my 1 as a 4, what is it the 4 in? B flat. You can actually think about the B flat melodic minor scale. Okay? And I know it's kind of different, but you could. So watch this. The B flat melodic minor is pretty much this. You flat the 3rd. Okay? So if you're thinking about a major scale, B flat major. when you're thinking about the melodic minor, all you're doing is just flatten the third, and that's it. You keep everything else. So watch this. So it still has that major 7 in there. But it's like that doesn't sound, funky. That doesn't sound bluesy or, anything. But when you put it in, if you could make it work. And if you put it in the right context, you can make it work. So on my dominant, if I'm on a dominant, I think about the 5, right? So even if we were in the key of C sharp and I go to that E flat dominant, right? So in C sharp, oh, give thanks to something like right here, right? I can do this. You see? And I actually did a breakdown of that. I think I did that. Because I used that run, that scale in that run. That off note in C sharp. So it's all about concepts. That's why once you start thinking like that, it's easier to play in all your keys, because it's easier to just take one concept and just put it in a different situation. Like you just understand it a little bit better, at least for me, right? So I did this. Let me see. I think. Okay. Or, because everybody does this. Okay. Most people know that sound, right? So you just want to play around. I just want to give you some ideas. So once you do the 5, okay. Oh, that sounds like G's will, right? But so yeah, there's so many things you can do. So when you're thinking about adding that funk type of aspect, you want to just think about it all. There's so many other ways you can explain this. I do get that. And I'm pretty sure different aspects that I left out, but I at least wanted to just give you guys some ideas, okay? And I hope this video actually brought some value. Like I said, I really didn't write it down, write everything down really. I just want to just convey some ideas, okay? So, that's just something else. So yeah, oh, another thing, this right here. Yeah. I like that too. A lot of times shapes matters when you're trying to do your runs. So that's actually another thing you can do. Now, this doesn't outline the A in the blues scale, right? But it still sounds pretty good. You're adding in the 6, okay? So what I'm doing, okay? Sometimes they kind of help. It can help you run a little bit faster, right? Whether you're going up or down. Now, when I go up, sometimes I play that F. But this is not really a run video. I didn't really want to make it specifically that. So I do that a lot. Okay? All right. So, yeah. So I'm going to let you guys go. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Definitely like the video. It really helps the channel. And check out, if you do want like some runs, like jazzy runs that you can put into your playing, definitely click the link, okay? And go down and check out the video, okay? Talk to you guys soon. Take care.